Hey guys, what's up? So iQOO had recently launched the iQOO Z3 5G in India starting at Rs 19,990 for the 6GB 128GB variant, while the 8 128GB is sold for 1,000 rupees more at 20,990. For that price, you're getting a 120Hz display, the latest Snapdragon 768G 5G processor, a 64MP triple camera setup, and a 4400 mAh battery with 55 watts of fast charging. But is it enough to take the crown of the best mid-range phone under 20,000 rupees? Let's find out in this video. So I have been using the device for around 10 days now, and to be honest, the device doesn't feel anything special. Let's start with the build of the phone, and here iQOO has used plastic for the construction of the phone. Everything from the back panel to the frame is made out of plastic. So as I had said in my first impressions, it doesn't feel anything premium in the hand. iQOO could have given the device a better build, especially since a lot of phones in this price range do come with glass belts. Now one thing we have to give credit to iQOO for is the frosted matte finish on the back panel. For the entirety of this review, I have used the phone without a case and there is not even a single scratch on it, which is commendable. I'm sure if this would have been any other phone with a normal plastic back, there would have been a lot of scratches. Also, the fingerprints on the back aren't that bad either. It does catch them, but not to the point that it looks ugly and you have to constantly wipe it, especially for the cyber blue color. On the front, you get an IPS display which is protected with Panda King glass, and that's where the compromise is. I mean, a plastic back is fine and I'm okay with it considering phones over 40,000 rupees come with plastic back these days. But the fact that the glass is not Gorilla Glass but a Chinese alternative doesn't inspire confidence. Now, I don't know how durable this glass is, but I think they could have used Gorilla Glass as it is a well-established brand and everyone knows about it. Anyway, you do get a screen protector pre-applied to the screen so it won't scratch easily. Also, you get a teardrop notch on the front which makes it look like a 2019 era device. A punch hole for the 16MP camera would have been nice and given the device a modern look. We've got the power button aka the fingerprint sensor on the right of the handset, and over that is the volume rocker. The buttons are nice and clicky, even the fingerprint sensor is fast as most side mounted fingerprint sensors are, so no complaints over there as well. The USB Type-C cable, the mono speaker and the 3.5mm headphone jack all reside on the bottom. The top houses a SIM card tray and a noise cancelling microphone. The SIM card tray also has a rubber gasket around it, so that is nice. It is a hybrid tray, so you can either use 2 SIM cards or a microSD card. It does support storage expansion up to 1 TB. All in all, the design is nothing to write home about. It could have been better in my opinion. Now the display on the front is a 6.58-inch IPS LCD which has decent color reproduction and viewing angles, though the brightness could have been better. It has got 361 nits of peak brightness, which is okay for indoor usage but is problematic in direct sunlight. It also comes with 120Hz refresh rate and HDR10 support, although HDR is only supported on YouTube as of now and you won't be able to stream HDR videos on Prime or Netflix. All in all, the display is of decent quality and there's nothing wrong with it, but don't expect to get AMOLED level deep blacks or punchy colors. If you want to consume a lot of media on your phone, this isn't for you. Talking about media, you get a single mono firing speaker at the bottom and the quality is just fine. It gets decently loud but sounds tinny. It is not so good for watching movies or listening to music. The Redmi Note 10 Pro series with its stereo speakers and AMOLED display is much better in that regard. The output from the 3.5mm headphone jack is decent as well. Now let's jump to the back where we have 3 cameras, or rather 2 cameras if you don't consider the 2MP macro. I'm glad that iQOO hasn't claimed it to be a quad camera setup by adding another 2MP depth sensor. Anyway, the primary camera is a 64MP Samsung GW3 sensor and it performs well under good lighting conditions. You get a good amount of detail in the photos and the dynamic range is also good. However, the colors are a little saturated as I had said in my first impressions. It captures natural skin tones and the HDR performance is good. Now since the phone is powered by the Snapdragon 768G, it can capture 4K at 60fps, while other phones can only capture 4K at 30fps in this price bracket. The quality at 4K 60 is good in my opinion. It exposes the scene well, the video is crisp, the colors are decent. However, you lose out in any form of stabilization. You would have to mount this phone on a tripod if you really want to shoot some watchable videos. Dumping down the resolution to 4K 30 gives you both standard and ultra stabilization options, but the output is nowhere near perfect. It is best for small shakes, but nothing more. Even at 4K 30, the video is sharp and you get a good dynamic range in the clip, better than the video at 4K 60. Here are some samples of 1080p videos captured from the phones, both at 30fps and 60fps, and as you can see, the video looks good with good colors, exposure and details. What's even better is that iQOO allows you to record videos from all the 3 focal lengths from 0.6x to 2x, Now the phone obviously doesn't have a telephoto or a zoom lens, but the 64 megapixel primary camera has enough resolution to digitally zoom in and remain sharp. And that's exactly what iQOO has used here to simulate a 2x telephoto camera. The photos aren't as sharp as a physical 2x lens would have captured, but they are definitely usable. Since these come from the main camera, the colors, dynamic range, etc. remain the same. Moving on to the 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera, it feels like just another ultra-wide sensor found on any other mid-range phones these days. It captures good colors, but they are a little saturated than the primary camera, especially the skies get boosted to make it look more pleasing. The dynamic range on the ultra-wide is only marginally worse than the primary sensor, which is again nice to see. However, the photos are lacking in terms of details and there is a lot of distortion around the edges. As I said, you can even record videos with the ultra-wide, but the resulting footage is soft and it is not exposed well. So yes, the ultra-wide camera is nothing special. We also have a 2 megapixel macro camera and it captures very low resolution images. You will click a photo or two with it and then forget about it. Here I have captured a few samples with the 2 megapixel macro and zoomed 2 times on the main camera, and I think the 2x captures better shots with better colors and details. Moving on to low light samples, and here the camera is lacking. The non-night mode photos fail to impress. There is a lot of noise. Switching to the night mode does brighten up the scene, but it adds a yellow tint to the photos sometimes, especially if there are a lot of halogen lamps in the picture. In complete darkness, it just fails to capture anything. Moving on to the 16 megapixel front-facing camera, and I would say it is one of the better front-facing cameras in this price segment. It captures natural skin tones with good details. You do get some beautification options, but you can turn them off. But I think even after that, it does some kind of skin smoothing, but the overall output is good. Even the portrait mode captures good photos with natural colors, but the bokeh looks fake or doesn't look as natural as say the iPhones or the Galaxy phones. Even the edge detection is poor. It makes sharp cuts, but in order to avoid clipping off the subject, it feels like the phone plays it safe and draws a line just after a few pixels from it, as you can see in this photo. This has been a problem with previous Vivo phones as well. The cutout is not the best, much like the first generation portrait shots, and I don't like it. After so many years, I was expecting some natural bokeh, but sadly it hasn't improved. Now the phone is the first device to be powered by the Snapdragon 768G 5G CPU, and that's the USP of the phone. The Snapdragon 768G is an overclocked version of the 765G and is powerful enough to handle your day-to-day tasks with ease. In fact, it can handle even heavy games like Battlegrounds Mobile India or COD Mobile. I played BGMI on the phone and I could play it at HDR and ultra frame rate. However, the extreme frame rate option was only visible on the smooth setting. The 120Hz refresh rate and the 180Hz touch sampling rate do help the device feel smooth while gaming. In my testing, I did not find any stutters or lags even on gaming continuously for around 45 minutes, but the device did get a little hot. I think for casual gamers this should do just fine, but if you want a phone only for gaming, I think you should pick the Poco X3 Pro over this. The phone runs on the latest FunTouch OS 11 and it does feel a lot like stock Android. It even has an app drawer, which is a welcome change. FunTouch OS runs smoothly on the device and there are no hiccups or stutters. I've always felt that Vivo's FunTouch OS is very smooth and light, and the experience is the same here as well. So no complaints with respect to the performance. The OS is filled with features like phone clone, double tap to wake and sleep, etc. They are all here. There are a few apps that come pre-installed such as Moj, Facebook, Daily Hunt, ShareChat, etc. But thankfully you can uninstall them if you want, so that is nice. What I'm not impressed with are the kind of permissions the inbuilt apps ask for. Like the majority of the apps from Vivo or iQOO would ask for a ton of permissions, including location, calls, contact, etc. and they will store it for 3 years. On top of that, the data can be shared with a third party for processing as well, which is not cool. Even the homepage of Chrome has been replaced with Vivo's homepage, which displays ads and stories. There's also a poster feature on the lock screen that promotes stories without any mention of it during the setup process. So all in all, the software performs good, but the privacy issues leave a lot to be desired for. Coming to the battery department, so the phone comes with a 4400 mAh battery, which doesn't sound like a lot considering the 6.58 inches LCD 120Hz display and the Snapdragon 768G CPU. However, the phone did manage to last me through a full day of use with on-screen time ranging from 5 hours to 6 hours on 120Hz. There's also an option to let the phone decide the refresh rate dynamically, which would help save more battery and you might get even more out of it, but I chose to keep it locked at 120Hz. It also comes with support for 55 watts charging with a 66 watt charger inside the box, which took around 30 minutes to charge the phone from 0 to 60% and an hour for a complete charge as opposed to a claimed 50 minutes. but even that is fast enough, and I don't think you should have any issues with charging or battery life on the phone. Now the phone does come with support for carrier aggregation, and I could see 4G Plus on the phone. However, apps like NetMonster don't show it. I did a speed test with 4G Plus and I did get much better speeds compared to 4G. Also, the phone has got 5G, but it only has two 5G bands, N78 and N77, which are both sub 6 GHz bands. There is no 5G in India as of now, and I feel like it doesn't make sense for a phone under 20,000 rupees to have it, because these will be replaced within 1 or 2 years. So it's just for the hype that brands are launching 5G phones as of now, especially for phones under 20,000 rupees. So back to our original question, is it the best mid-range phone? The answer to that is a straight no. The iQOO Z3 5G though comes with decent specifications, however is nothing special. The Snapdragon 768G CPU is good for day-to-day use, but if you are a serious mobile gamer, then the Snapdragon 860 on the Poco X3 Pro offers a lot more raw power in this price segment. Also, if you're someone who watches a lot of videos and consume a lot of media on their phones, then the Redmi Note 10 Pro series offers better AMOLED displays and stereo speakers. And then if you want a phone with a good software experience, then you might want to look at the OnePlus Nord CE 5G. The only good reason for you to look at this phone is the combination of 5G and good everyday performance. But then again, it only comes with two 5G bands. If iQOO could have given it more 5G bands, it would have given the device an edge over the competition. So that's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and do tell me if you agree with my conclusion of the iQOO Z3 in the comments section. Smash the like button if you liked it and subscribe to the channel for more tech videos like this. I will see you all in the next one. Till then, bye bye and stay safe.